Interpretation. Firstly, banks originated in the temples. A lot of historians claimed that the first form of banking, the first form of bank was formed before the invention of money. At the beginning, the property was grain, poultry, agriculture products, and precious metals such as gold or silver. And temples are safe places to keep the property because they are solid infrastructure. And in terms of spiritual aspect, even the daring thieves absent and abstain and avoid this secret place. In Egypt and Mesopotamia, gold was kept in the temples, and why these precious metals was still there. Um, Merchants and royalty outside really needs to use them, and according to the archaeologist uh, uh, and ecologists found the ruins that in the early 18th century BC in Babylon under the reign of Hammurabi, monks let merchant land the monks lent the merchants properties that were kept in the temples. The ancient Greek people hold the oldest evidence about banking activities, and the Egyptian banks was operated diversely and complicatedly than banks in the previous society ever before. Egypt temples and administrative individuals in the big cities knew about financial transactions such as loans, property sending, or coin pricing by identifying the weight and the purity of the metals. Even the Egyptians knew how to use books credit transactions in the ports, which is a center of trading activities. The lenders creates a credit paper and gives the people who needs money, and this this paper can be exchanged into money when they traveled to other cities, and which can help them avoid bringing a lot of money during their trade journey. PTS was a person who founded and operated merchant banks all over Minor Asia in the 5th century BC, and this bank was considered to be the first merchant banks by yeah, and one important point is that a lot of owners were hybrids and foreigners, which explains it seems like Egyptians, with their high development of technology, they seemed to be they seemed didn't care about the importance of monetary business field, and this is the reason why the Egyptian reached the peak of civilization, but they didn't have any contribution to the contemporary economic sector. Secondly, the development of credit activity. The credit activity developed has had dynamic development in the 4th century BC in Mediterranean. In Egypt, grain was early used as money besides precious metals such as gold or silver, and the grain warehouse of the state functioned as the state banks when the Greek Empire conquered Egypt. Scattered warehouse were gathered to be the state grain bank, and centrally managed in Alexandria. This grain bank network functioned as business credit system, of which payment is made by copying data from this account to another account, from an account to another account, and it indeed didn't need monetary exchange, and this is the most clear nature and form of compensation and electronic and online payment in current modern bank. In the last 3rd century BC, Delos was the Delos in the Barren Agent was a center of banks in Mediterranean, like Egypt. Monetary transaction was replaced by credit bills, and payment was made based on simple instruction with accounts privately kept for the customer. After Romans conquered, defeated the enemy Cavius and Conrius, Delos became the more important. Delos bank's system was almost copied by the Roman banks. Ancient Rome completed rules and process of banks, loan in inter loan sorry loan and standing interest were widely used with the calculating techniques. Development in competitive environment, and a Roman state also appointed public officials specializing in recording banking transactions. However, due to the habit of using cash in transaction of Romans, the development of banks was greatly prevented.